All right. Brew some coffee, pour a cup. It's time for some more coffee talk.
It's Baschamania! Let me tell you something, brother. He gave us everything he had in him tonight. What you gonna do when Baschamania runs wild on you? Oh, it's gonna be a good one. And business just picked up here on the podcast. Oh yeah.
We'll just increase the size of everything.
Yeah, we'll make it bigger.
I was on my phone yesterday and I was looking at something and it was like the text was pretty small. I was like this far away. one of my buddies was like, do you really need to be that close to your phone?
I went to the eye doctor Thursday and it ruined my whole morning. They dilated my eyes, everything. That was the first time I've ever had my eyes dilated. I couldn't see. My entire phone looked pixelated. I thought, this isn't real life. Like, they can just put a drop in your eye and make you stop seeing.
Right.
Like,
isn't that pretty crazy?
That's nerve-wracking. She's like, oh, it's going to come back. Like, you hope. What if it doesn't? Like,
Yeah.
I literally couldn't see. I had my wife, like, reading emails and text.
You're like, I guess this is forever now.
Yeah. So, but she told me, she's like, yeah, you definitely need some glasses. And I'm like, okay, what do you think? Like, maybe if I'm on the computer, some blue light? She's like, no, like 24/7, put some glasses on. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I wear glasses, but they kind of just sit in my room most of the time.
Yeah, I got to get them. I'm going to go this week and get it. And speaking of your health, I guess we'll just roll right with that. You are finally back.
Yes.
January 29th. You finally have a match. You and Dave McFadden.
Yeah.
At what, 79 kilos?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Is that your first time wrestling 79. That heavy?
It is, yeah. I actually I was like a pound under last week, so
a pound under 79.
Yeah, not a pound under 74. No, a pound under 79 kilos. Just so that's good. I won't really have to cut any weight. But I wanted to wrestle lower actually, but I was talking to Slay about it, and he's like, well, we have Dave on a descent plan right now, and that's my guy. So I was like, all right, that's fine. Like, we'll do it. Like, doesn't matter. Let's just go wrestle.
What is your expectation for this match? It's been a while since you've been on the mat. Like, what? Like, think Dan Valmont maybe 3 months ago?
Yeah, so just strictly wrestling Penn RTC guys now. But nah, I'm just going to go let it fly and just have fun with it. That's pretty much, my goal going into this match is let it rip, get myself tired, score some points. I know what he does. He knows what I do. We only wrestled each other once, but, I've watched him wrestle, just honestly rooting for him most of the time.
Yeah, same.
Sure, vice versa. So, like, it should be fun, though.
This is probably my first time not rooting for him. And I tweeted that. I'm like, let's go, Cenzo. No disrespect, McFadden.
No, yeah, he's a good dude, right? And
I like him a lot. I had him on here last year.
Yeah, I've known him for a long time, and we've, become better friends over the years, too. And now he lives with Mark, who's one of my best friends. And now they're super tight, too. So I think he said he was stealing my warm-up partner, which that one kind of hurt a little bit.
Is that like this match, which, by the way, for people listening who might live under a rock, Pennsylvania RTC is hosting an event on January 29th on their Rockman channel. If you watch Cenzo compete for the NLWC against Dan Valmont, you already have access, as long as you didn't cancel your subscription. If you didn't, you got to go sign up. It's $9.99 a month. But I think this match should be like dubbed, like WWF style, everything's like a stipulation. There's always something hanging in the balance. I think for you guys here, it's winner is Mark Hall's training partner. Present or not, it's just the title, Mark Hall's training partner.
He can take I think Mark's a little too big for me now to be my consistent training partner. Because we both kind of went opposite directions in weight since graduating college. I've been kind of bringing mine down, and he's just letting himself grow.
Yeah, he's wrestling Nate Jackson, who just wrestled Jaden.
Nate looked big out there. I mean, I think he weighed in like 206 or something like that. I don't know. I have no idea. Don't quote me on that, but somewhere around there.
Yeah, I know.
But he he didn't look it though. He looked all of whatever he weighed in at.
Yeah, he looked big. And, for taking that match on such short notice and up away, I thought he looked really good. Jaden is just
so,
Jaden. Like, Jaden is it's funny how you're around Snyder a lot more than I am, but it's funny, like, watching it, like, on a screen, like a TV, that Jaden looks so much bigger than Snyder.
I don't, if you were like standing next to both of them, like at the same, like if you were just casually standing next to both of them, I don't think you would think that.
Really? I don't know why Jaden looked
Nah.
so much bigger. Like, when I see Snyder, like, in person, he's so jacked. When I see him
Snyder
like
is
compete,
stacked up, yeah.
when I see him compete, like, Jaden always looks like he should be in a bigger weight class. Snyder, it's always like, maybe he should be down a weight class, just because some of his competitors, I think, are taller and it's a bit more deceiving.
He manages his weight extremely well too.
Yeah.
He's, Kyle's very just on top of it. Also, speaking of Kyle, how about Noah Sharifov match this weekend? That was a little upsetting.
Yeah, I want to talk a lot about that event. I guess we'll talk about
we'll get into that.
Jaden and the Jordan Dave card first. So, a couple takeaways. First, let's just get right into Burroughs Taylor. What's your thoughts overall?
I thought it was a good match. I think Dave did a really good job for about 5 minutes of keeping his left hand down, just down blocking. And then in that last minute, Jordan was able to get himself going and was able to kind of get through that and run Dave to the edge. And, I think both guys were making good adjustments throughout the match. And, man, that was a good sweet. It was cool to be there for it. And, it was good to help David, throughout the whole process and everything. But I'd like to see it again. And I think
so would I.
can get on board with that.
It was, I give respect to both of them. Dave beat someone who's one of the absolute best wrestlers in the world. And Jordan went up a weight and only lost on criteria to, I refer to Dave as basically the reigning world champ. Like, he got injured and he hasn't competed internationally since he won the world championship. It's so impressive that Jordan can go up and lose by criteria.
So, and that's what I've been seeing on media a lot, right? Like, wow, Jordan Burroughs really is the greatest. He only lost on criteria, which and for him to be the greatest, there's no way that that's what he's thinking.
No, without a doubt. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to just lose by criteria.
And as a fan and everyone else, like, people saying we need overtime in the sport, like, that's fine. Which,
where do you stand on that?
Where I stand on that match specifically was, like, if the rules are criteria going into it, right? So know that while you're wrestling, like, so that doesn't change the match for me at all. If they're like, okay, there's overtime, the match is wrestled different. I don't know, because, like, what if you're in a tournament, right, and you have a tough first round draw, and it's like, okay, like, first takedown wins in overtime, you can wrestle for another 5 minutes, and that just kind of kills you.
Yeah, Willie had said that yesterday. He had a pretty good analysis about it, that it's along the lines of, like, look at it, nothing stops two guys from talking to each other and saying, let's just kind of putz around for 2 minutes and get our lungs back, and then whatever. Like, if you can go 15 overtimes, nobody's really pressed for time. I like the criteria is you're forced to.
It forces action.
I think it does. Yeah. So that match was great. One of my complaints about it is that, and I don't know if it was just Flo hyping it up, but everybody kept saying, this is the biggest match ever. This is the biggest match ever. And it was definitely a big match, but it felt flat from the standpoint of, like, nothing on the line, like, Olympic world wise. Like, I love the storylines. Right. So it was great to see them wrestle, but I felt like I love watching wrestling more as a fan when there's implications and things on the line. That was the only thing that, like, I'd rather have the match than not have it. But I don't know if I would call that the biggest match ever.
I understand what you're saying. So who watches regular season NBA and regular season NHL? Like,
diehards.
Like, right, people who are super into it, but the rest of us were here for the playoffs when there's something on the line.
Yeah.
It's always more fun when
by the way,
at stake.
Speaking of something at stake, shout out Bills Mafia shutting down Lamar Jackson. 17-3. What a victory. I don't know what's going to happen next week. Chiefs Browns tonight. I mean, Browns are a 10-point dog tonight. I don't
9.5. They moved it to 9.
Oh, did they?
Mhm.
Wow.
Which yeah, huge. Yeah, I know.
But yeah, I do like, I love these exhibition cards and matches, and it's kind of brings me to another point. Everybody's saying how good McKenna looks, and he did. McKenna looked awesome. My only surprise is that, like, when Joey competes like he did the last 2 matches, I'm not surprised people are talking about him. The only thing I'm surprised more people aren't talking about is that he beat a 57 and a 61 kilo guy. And I'm like, I'm
Right.
reading these the commentary, like McKenna. I'm like, McKenna did awesome, but how come nobody's taking that into account? It's like, and I told Slay that, I'm like, this is proof that a focused Joey is a dangerous Joey at 65 kilos. But I definitely want to see him soon against the 65 guy.
Well, Nashawn is a 65 now, I guess, for this year. So, but you got to look at how much size did he really put on in that amount of time.
Yeah.
And you can't take anything away from Joe either, because
Correct.
it's not like he chose to wrestle small people. That was just, who was there.
Yep.
And he's not.
And Gross and Nashawn are
necessarily-
freaking competiders. Like, nobody would.
And they're both big for their weight classes too.
They are. Yeah.
I really don't think that he had a huge size advantage in either match. He's like, whenever he's down and he's small. He stays small.
Yep.
He didn't really have to cut. He didn't. I was there, with him down in Lincoln. He really didn't have to cut. So, yeah, I mean, maybe he has a little more horsepower, but whatever advantages he had, he used them. He looked good.
Yeah, I thought he looked great, and I don't take those victories away from him at all. I don't want to diminish them. Gross is a competitor, Nashawn's a competitor. Those are awesome matches. I was just more surprised that I didn't see any commentary referencing that. But yeah, I thought Joey looked great. I'm super excited. I know the last time I talked to Slay, I don't think he knew who McKenna was going to wrestle yet. So I'm really excited to see who it's going to be. Do you know?
If
he
I don't think he has a match yet.
I
don't
even want to announce it if I
don't think he
did know
does.
it. Yeah, I wouldn't announce it if I did. I'm just saying I'm excited to see who he wrestles. Like, I'm actually waiting.
He so whenever we were down there, he didn't have a match lined up yet. And, like, I was just trying to help him brainstorm. It's hard to schedule matches,
Especially now getting close to the trials.
Especially now getting close to trials, and there's a whole pool of college guys that are out too because they're in season.
And I feel like at 65, that pool is short or is small, where they're all like top 5. Like, you have Zane, Yanni, J.O. It's all guys who are like 1, 2, 3, 4 in the weight. It's not like there's a lot of 5 to 10 guys ranked that want to try to. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I hope he gets a good match. I'd love to see him in Pantaleo. Pantaleo doesn't seem to be shying away from competition.
Well, the only thing I think Pantaleo going up to 74.
Oh, that's right. I think he is.
So if he is, I don't think they would do that.
No, I forgot about that.
If he's going up, he'd be a little too big.
Yeah, I forgot about that. And speaking of, last week, I must have got no less than 100 DMs for the Mitch McKee thing. No less. And that was one of those things where I read a tweet like just before we recorded, and I'm like, oh, that's a good point. I just didn't think about it. Oh yeah, he graduated. So I got like 100 DMs, and they're all great. Like, love the show. Just so you know, Mitch McKee graduated.
Hey, you guys are idiots. And I'm gonna defend myself here. I think he graduated high school. I think he graduated high school the year after me.
Okay.
So that's why I thought he had another year, but I guess he didn't take a red shirt.
That would make sense. Yeah,
Like,
and by the way, I love if we ever say something dumb or we're wrong, feel free to DM. Yeah. Like, this is not like 27 hours of planning. Every fact is, fact checked. But more wrestling. The Henri Deglane was yesterday for the men. I think so. Deglane.
I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, I don't know. Lot of great action. I guess we'll start Friday. The women wrestled and they just looked good. I'm excited. Like I was thinking about it this morning. I was sitting in church and I was scrolling through Twitter and nobody's talking about Greco. And I'm not surprised
No
because
one.
like for two reasons. Number one, they don't win that often. And if you don't win, you're not going to get that fandom. And number two, like if I'm not following something, but I see a name that I really want to see compete, I'll tune in. And there wasn't a lot of that today with the Greco. But I'll tell you, with the women on Friday, the names that we've developed as a country,
Yeah, they're hammers. Yeah,
like
they're
you see
great.
Sarah Hildebrandt come to the match, Shakara Winchester, Helen Maroulis, like you see these names. And even so, like the fact that we had, did I write it down? Like the amount of golds, like Sarah Hildebrandt gold, Shakara Winchester silver, Helen Maroulis gold, Kayla Miracle gold, Tamara Mensah gold, Forrest Molinari and Macy Kilty both took silver, 2 Americans. Like that's awesome. I think, we had like 2 finals at one point and 3 out of the 4 competing were Americans. Like the growth and strength of our women's side has just continues to climb. And like I like all these names with the exception of like 1 or 2, I'm excited to see them wrestle. Like Forrest Molinari was down, like I think 5-1. She pinned someone. Like exciting matches. These are matches that like if you see they're happening, you want to tune in. That's how women's wrestling I think is going to continue to grow. So I love that.
Yeah, I think it's great too. And it's just like with the amount of we've talked about this before, but just like the amount of success that our like senior women are having is just inspiring to pursue like the same dreams and everything. And I think that in turn is just going to help the entire sport of wrestling. So, keep it up, right? Like I think they're killing it.
Yeah, and I definitely think we're going to have at least 1 Olympic gold, if not 2 women this year.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not going to put that pressure on, but yeah, I think so also. I mean, I think if just the system that we have right now and the way that they're competing, like there's no doubt in my mind. Yeah.
And you have, like, being a marketing guy, I always talk about how I'm interested in the storylines. Like, you have Helen Maroulis, a returning Olympic gold medalist competing. You have someone like Mensah who just bumped up, beat Adeline. She beat Forrest Molinari, who was coming up a weight. So now she's got wins in the last week over someone coming up and her going up. So, she's the reigning world champ. So those 2 alone. Then you throw in Sarah Hildebrandt at 50 kilos, Kayla Miracle at 62, Jakara. Like, there are some studs. So, yeah, I was really, really impressed with that Friday. Yesterday, it's been a while since, at least on my side, on the fan side, like being able to watch an international tournament. It's been so long. There were, what's an international tournament without disappointments? Like the Gilman match. I still don't understand how that was scored. Very, very frustrating.
I'm gonna stop you real quick.
Okay.
If that was correct, then Gilman would have teched Seth in like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that was insane.
Yeah, and I'm not like I said this after Yanni's match, like, because people were saying, how is that 2 or how is that 4 for Yanni? Like, I don't know. These, like Yanni and Vito, these guys love that. They love the exposure. They love throwing to an exposure, and they seem to kind of put themselves in danger of scoring going different ways. And I had said to the Yanni match, like, look, I don't know how that thing was scored, and you always see, like, after the Zayn Yanni match, for example, you always see fans like hating on someone. It's like, listen, they have one job to go out there and score points. And Yanni did that. He teched King Shavili, the reigning Olympic champ. Like, that was super impressive. But I'm like, I don't know the scoring that well. So Gilman's match, I'm like, this, from what my understanding, this doesn't seem right.
So, yeah, you have every reason to feel that for Gilman's match, because that was just insane. I watched it a few times trying to wrap my head around like any possible scenario in which it would have been 2. And the one scenario I was thinking of where, well, his knee touched for a second, right?
Yeah.
So if his knee touched, then like he's grounded anyway. So that's not even a point. That's not even one. I seriously I couldn't figure it out. I don't know. I watched it a bunch of times, and yeah, it's one match. It's not, it's a match in
you just hate to see it.
France. It's not the end of the world, but
it's not.
Sucks.
I think it's one of those things where rooting for Americans, being a Thomas Gilman fan, and one of the unique aspects here was I think a lot of us wanted to see Gilman Soriano in the finals.
Oh, yeah.
And not only did it cost Gilman a match, it cost Gilman from being in the finals with him. Which Soriano, I mean, we sent 3 guys, but we took first, third, and fifth. Soriano got gold, Gilman got bronze, and then Vito got fifth. Like, that's wild to me. And that's like no Spencer Lee, no Dayton Fix, no Seth Gross. Like, we haven't won a medal at 57 in a long time, but we've got a lot of guys now.
We do, and I think that's going to just change the landscape of 57 because they're going to have to be really good to beat each other to make the team.
Yeah.
So if you got to be that good to make the team, like, you're going to be good enough to medal.
Yeah. And what about Yanni beating James Green for the 3rd straight time?
Nothing new there. I don't know.
I'm not really shocked. Like, yeah, I'm not really shocked. But I mean, James Green we talked about this last week. He's a great wrestler. It's a lot to come down to 65. I mean, he's a 70-kilo guy. And, you talk about the talent at 65, Yanni, Zane, J.O., Joey, like Nick Lee. There's some studs at 65. And to cut down for the Olympics, it's tough for these guys.
Hey, since you're talking crap on my guy Joey, he did beat Yanni last time they wrestled last year.
Joey at Senior Nationals looked absolutely incredible. I think Joey's like right there. He looked awesome. Was it the Mateo Pelicon last year? I think he's looked incredible. My only thing with Joey, I'm just surprised that people aren't talking about the weight difference. That's it.
Right.
Joey's a hammer.
Right. Yeah.
So Yanni got gold. James Green got silver.
I'm just gonna keep giving you a hard time though.
That's all right. Dake got gold. Zahid got a bronze.
Yeah.
Snyderman gold. Snyder looked so great.
Did you see Dake? Yeah.
Dake's rock bottom.
Did you see? Yes.
I don't understand. I don't know if that's that functional pattern stuff he does or what, but the way his body moves to be able to do that is just ridiculous.
I need to feel that. Not the rock bottom part, but just, the movement.
We got to get you two on a card.
Yeah, let's do it.
Speaking of all these matches, I'm curious. And Gwiz got bronze. I think he got bronze. Heavyweight stacked too.
Heavyweight is stacked.
Mason.
Three of the guys are in college too, which is crazy. We were talking about this.
Yeah. So after, both of these cards, I'm curious for you if you've thought about whose stock went up and whose stock went down.
I was thinking about this. So there's a few people that I had in mind for stock up. I was originally thinking Nick Sirianno, but everyone knows Nick Sirianno is good. I'm going to have a crazy pick here for stock up.
Okay. By the way, I was leaning
Nelson
towards
Brands. Did you see that Iowa-Nebraska match?
Him and I think I did. Yeah.
Yeah, majored him. And he didn't. It's not like he caught him on his back. Push, pull, snap, run around. Looked good, man. Nelson Brand stock up. He looked strong and good.
I didn't even think about factoring in college guys into that because I would have put Dylan Ragusin last week for stock going up.
Ooh.
But I was thinking strictly Frieza, which I would have said Soriano this week for stock going up because Nick is a great wrestler, but he put together a hell of a tournament. I think he only let up like 2 points the entire tournament, and both were, I think, penalty points, passivity points. Like they weren't. So, and I think, he lost to Vito not too long ago. He lost to Gross last year at the Pharaoh. So I think people were starting to lower his stock a little bit because of how deep the weight class is. And I think after this weekend, I would say his stock went up.
That's fair. Yeah.
Stock down. Any thoughts on whose stock you would put down?
I was trying to think about this too, and there was really no one that caught my eye per se that I was like, ooh, like this guy didn't look good or something like that. Um, my biggest, I guess, the thing that stands out the most to me has been officiating. I think the official stock is going down big time.
But
And
that's
it's just
already
not,
been so low. Is there really?
but and it's getting so much more inconsistent,
Yeah.
I think is what it is. Just like freestyle rules in general, just big time inconsistencies. I don't know.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
That's I can't really think of any person coming to mind that like, oh, like, they kind of shit the bed. Like, nah.
When you think stock, you think long term, and you think
Mm-hmm.
equity and what their brand's going to be worth. And I think it was a tough one this week, but I think for me it's James Green.
Ooh,
Because he's
man.
down at 65 and he doesn't look like he's going to be anything can happen at the trials. Molinar was the 9 seed. But no, he did. And that's what I'm saying. Like it's tough. It's not to say he's getting worse at all. He's an awesome wrestler. But he was 0-3 now against Yanni. If I'm a sponsor of his and I have to wait what I think his chances are going to be of making the Olympic team this year, after you lose to Yanni 3 times, I'd say, okay, anything can happen. Molinaro proved that. Jaden proved that in 2016. But if you're 0-3 against Yanni, I would start to say, like, okay, maybe we start thinking about his stock for 70 kilos next year. That kind of, to me, was like, he's now lost to Yanni at multiple events, 0-3. So I'd say for me, I'd say this week, James Green.
And that's fair too, just because you look at the whole weight also.
Right.
And yeah, three losses like doesn't necessarily translate to losses to other people, but you can see it happen, right? Like he's gonna have to beat Zane or him or Jo or all of them,
and part of like when I say
tough to do.
Yeah, and when I say stock too, what I'm thinking about is like brand stock. Like for a sponsor, who's the best stock to get right now? So that's why it's like, I think sometimes it might not even be.
Hey, that's why.
Go ahead.
That's why I said Nelson Brands, because he just kind of popped out of nowhere.
Yeah, no, exactly, and that's why it's like, it's always tough coming up with the stock down because I don't want to be disrespectful. Like these guys aren't. It's not that we don't like them. It's not that they don't have a lot of value. It's just saying up and down based on the week. So It's like after this week, I'd say James Green down, Nick Soriano up. I think I like Nick's chances for the Olympic trials better after this weekend, and I dislike James's more after this weekend.
That's a pretty fair assessment. I can't disagree with any of that.
It's not easy though. I don't like saying like
no, yeah. He's like, oh yeah, this guy sucks. Like, no, that's not the case.
No, yeah,
he just has to give himself more opportunities to get that lace.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if he looked great at 65 kilos so far. Aside from not breaking through to Yanni, who Yanni is like the perfect size 65 kilo guy.
He is. He probably doesn't have to do a whole ton, but like still has to move some weight.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Kind of perfect.
Yeah, but that's why I wanted to kind of explain the thought process behind the stock. It's not that these guys are now going to win Olympic gold or they're going to fall off the face of the earth. It's just we want to try to talk about who's stock
they
this
might,
week.
Though. They might though.
Right. It's not. Which and speaking of stock rising up and down, I want to bring in someone who nobody's seen for a while. Ant the Champ.
Gucci.
First of all, where are you right now?
I forgot my toothpick.
I'm in my new luxury apartment.
Wow.
I forgot. Maddie kicked you out.
Where are the other rooms at?
Nice and big.
What is that one wall? The black wall.
Oh, I just put blackout shades on my windows.
Okay. Sleeping in late.
Got my gold collection.
He's a private guy.
Got my books, everything.
Wow. Thanks for the tour.
How
My
has
supplement.
life post living with Bo Nickel been going for you?
It's been great. I
Wow.
shut off some
Big smile and
it's
everything. that
it's
come with
good.
that.
I mean, it's pretty much the same because I would just chill in my room for a while and then go downstairs and hang out with them at night. I do the same thing. I chill here and then I'll go over there at night most of the week. So pretty much the same.
And for those listening, we wanted Anthony to come on a couple weeks ago, and he couldn't because he didn't text. He didn't text me back. He didn't text Cenzo back. He didn't answer either of our calls. Turns out he texted us 2 days later that he lost his phone in an Uber. Can you tell that story, please?
I don't really want to, but yeah. So it was New Year's Eve, and I was going to my boy's restaurant, and
Who's your boy? Who's your boy?
Constantine, my boy. Shout out to my boy Constantine.
All right, we're going to Constantine's restaurant. What happened?
And I freaking left my phone in the Uber, and I realized it like 2 minutes after I got out of the Uber, and so I called my phone immediately, and it was fully charged, but it like went right to voicemail. So I'm pretty sure the Uber driver just turned it off and stole my phone, and so I was pretty tight, but it worked out because I needed a new phone anyway. I had like an iPhone 7, so I got it to 12, and I'm back.
Oh wow! How many cameras we got on the back of that?
Only 2.
Only 2? Yeah. I mean, I feel that, some people have 3 cameras. That's just a little too much.
No, I'm not there yet.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Coffee yet, Ben?
So, Ant the champ.
Where's the coffee, Chen?
Oh, where's the coffee? Oh, it's right here, bro.
Cheers.
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 What are you drinking?
And where is it from? It's got a sleeve, so I know it's not homemade. Is internet cutting out of this luxury apartment? Where'd he go?
Yeah. I don't know.
Where you at?
Oh, he went to Saints.
There we go.
Yeah, Saints.
I don't know if I've been to Saints.
Yeah, I approve of Saints all day.
Yeah.
One of the best coffee shops here. We're supporting local and we're getting good coffee. Not wrong
I'll
with
have to check that
I
one
just
out.
got some organic Sumatra. Organic.
Nice.
All right. So, Tony Baloney, how's the shoulder?
It's feeling good. I'm
Yeah.
Getting back to the mat in 2 weeks. So
Heck
excited
yeah.
for that. It's been a long recovery, but we're finally getting there.
When you say you're getting back on the mat, like you haven't practiced, drilled, nothing, you're completely off the mat right now?
Yep. I've been off the mat for a while now. So yeah, I finally get cleared February 1st.
So, whenever you do get back, who's like first person you want to get your hands on at practice? McKnight, I would say so too. He's a little squirrely.
Yeah.
And he has been talking crap too.
Yeah. I think
This luxury internet.
I know. We're just gonna keep
I feel like
cruising
he
here.
needs to get tossed on his dome every now and then. So I don't need this Wi-Fi.
That's all right, man. Don't worry. You'll be able to get that payday and get that real internet soon. This is just
not working. We're having a hard time.
We're having a hard time. For those listening and not watching, his internet this must be too much bandwidth for him. So we're just looking at a still shot of him.
Which is totally fine with me.
I connected to my hotspot. Let's see if that's better.
Are you using a hotspot on your phone?
Yeah.
Okay, that might be part of it. So you're getting back on the mat, drilling, practicing February 1st. Do you have an idea when you can return to competition?
Probably. I mean, definitely not for trials. So probably late 2021. So probably about like a year post surgery. So yeah, about like 6 months from now, probably.
That's wild. And it's wild too, because once the Olympic trials were postponed, initially it wasn't that bad of a thing for you because you had to have your surgery anyways. But then you and I were talking and you were telling me that because it's technically an elective surgery, that got bumped out and you just got it, like 2 months ago now?
Yeah, so I'll tell the story. I just told it on Flow, but I'll do it again. So basically I got hurt
Nobody
December.
listens to Flow, so nobody heard the story.
Yeah.
I actually don't a ton. So
So it was, I got hurt at the senior nationals in late December. Went home to get my shoulder checked out. I dislocated it, but it was like a basic tear, nothing that I couldn't wrestle through. So I was pumped about that. Came back to Penn State, started preparing for the last chance qualifier, prepared up until March, and then like a week and a half before the last chance, I hurt it again, my shoulder again in practice, and this time it was like a lot worse. So went back, figured out that I definitely needed surgery this time. So was scheduled to get surgery mid-March, as soon as possible. And the day before I was going in to get surgery, Corona shut everything down. And so my surgery was postponed indefinitely. So I was like, all right. So I was just kind of like hanging around waiting. And at this point, like the Olympics was like still going on and everything was going to go as planned. So, I was just like, all right, well, I mean, it's not going to happen this year. I just got to, take my time and wait till when I get surgery. So I'm not getting a call for like a month and a half, like to get surgery. Everything's just like shut down. And so I had the opportunity to go out to Miami to help George Masvidal train for his upcoming title fight. So went out there for 6 weeks and was just training. Like my shoulder was feeling like decent at that point. And I was like doing a little wrestling, a lot of MMA stuff. Was out there for the full 6 weeks, no call. Finally, I get back to Jersey. And at this point, it's like mid-June. And so months have gone by, and finally we get the clear to have the elective surgery. So I get that done in July. Get it all done. Surgery goes well, pretty intense. And then I go out to California for a month. At this point, I know that the Olympics are rescheduled. So I go out there for a month to kind of get like my training camp in and kind of get myself back into the groove of full training. And then by the end of that month, my shoulder was obviously like super tight and it was soon after surgery. So all the feedback I was getting from, my strength coach and doctors and physical therapists out there was, that I could, really try to push this thing and rush back for this coming March and April. But, it was a lot of bone and ligament issue to where if I do want to compete for as long as I want to, which is, hopefully for the next 10, 15 years, then the best decision was to take it slow and just kind of let my body heal and let my shoulder come back to its full strength. So finally I got back to Jersey, made that decision. And then since then, just, I use my right hand now because I don't have and so just since then, just kind of been taking it slow and like doing all the rehab and everything correctly. And now I'm like finally at the point where I'm pretty much back to full strength and I can start drilling it and doing all the curls and tricep extensions that I want to do.
Yeah, you got to make sure you get those curls in because like without that, you're pretty much just a New Yorker.
I'm just I'm lost as a human being if I can't do my curls.
Without your curls, yeah.
It's like Creed from The Office, like, if I can't scuba, what was the point of all of this?
If I can't scuba, what was the point of all this?
So you had initially, I want to say when you and Bo came on here, when you guys were in Miami, you had said that your goal was, go to the Olympics and go right to MMA.
Yeah.
Now that the 2020 Olympics are out for you, what's your plan for wrestling?
So I've been going back and forth for like a while now. Just if I, want to go straight into MMA or wrestle through another cycle, and I'm definitely leaning towards wrestling a little longer. I'm going to take it day by day once I get back in the mat, kind of see how everything's feeling. But but yeah, so I'm definitely leaning towards. I feel like I still kind of have some unfinished business in the wrestling world. So
let's go.
We'll take it day by day and go from there. Because I'm gonna have plenty of time to fight. I want to fight for even if I have my first fight when I'm 30 years old, which is plenty of time from now. I can fight till I'm 40 for sure. So I have time for that.
Yeah, man. Who cares? Whenever you decide to make the transition, then you're still gonna beat guys up anyway. And as much as I want to see you beat people up, I love watching you wrestle. So like that's just like I'd rather see you wrestle a little longer.
appreciate that.
just because it's sick, man. You haven't had a ton of time up at heavyweight.
Yeah, I haven't had a ton of time competing in general. So
Right.
yeah, so definitely looking forward to getting back to strength and throwing my hat back in the mix.
Outside of the Penn State room, who do you want to wrestle the most?
I don't care. I just want to wrestle. I don't really feel like. I mean, obviously, I want to wrestle Bradley again because we didn't finish our match and I got hurt, so I'll get that one back as soon as possible because we have unfinished business there. And then everyone else, let's just run it back with all of them.
Gable came out here and was calling you out.
I heard that, yeah. he was nice about it though.
He was nice about it.
He was hyping me up, and then I mean, I said the same thing on Flo. I understand where he's coming from. If I was him, I'd want a third match too, because I'm the only one he hasn't lost to. But
what's he gonna do? Call you a chump when he's 0-2 against you?
Yeah.
Like obviously not, right?
Yeah. So yeah, there's not much I can say. I mean, I tweeted back at him, and that was it. But yeah, he's cool. I mean,
oh yeah.
If he continues wrestling, then we'll see each other again. If not, I'll go chase him down in the WWE and finish him there.
Oh, you guys could like throw each other through some tables. Wow.
Speaking of Bill's Mafia, there we go.
Wow.
Speaking my language.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, he called you out, but he said like he gave you credit for winning, and he wanted to run it back, and it's going to be interesting what happens with him wanting to go WWE and MMA and everything after this year. He's made it pretty clear as of right now it's through the Olympics and he's done. Plans obviously always continue to change for everybody. I think until you have that final match where you say, yeah, that was it. Like you said, you've been battling back and forth with wanting to the MMA route, wanting to keep wrestle. I definitely think having that unfinished business is a chip on your shoulder, especially where you left off. Like you left off on such a high note, and there's so much excitement, not just for you for what you're going to do, but wrestling fans, Penn State fans. Like there was a lot of hope there for what you had coming up.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you're sticking around.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it should be some exciting matchups when I come back.
So let's talk Penn State for a few minutes, because we had Mark Holland last week, and that was fun. I heard some news stories that I never heard. Things Cenzo told me that even all the coffee talk he didn't tell me. So, are you graduated now from Penn State?
Yeah, I've been graduating for a minute now.
So you're officially done. You counting the years he was there?
No, I was just doing math about something else.
So you're officially done. When you look back on your Penn State career, what do you think you reflect on the most? And why is it Cenzo?
Everyone's answer has been me so far, surprisingly enough.
In what context? Like on my own career, or just
you think Penn State? What do you think about?
I just think about good times and hard times combined. I mean, there was a lot of years there where I was just on the come up and climbing up a mountain, but there was a lot of good times mixed in there with everyone, just the whole team. And even when I was on the sidelines watching them succeed was amazing. And then I just think of that final year where everything kind of came together and culminated to my final goal achievement. And everyone kind of says it's about the journey, which I think there's truth to that. But for me, I don't really find too much meaning in the journey without the result. So I feel like once you get that result, it kind of gives a lot of meaning to that journey, where I can kind of look back and reflect and be like, wow, that was like an awesome journey with a lot of great people. And then with that stamp at the end, kind of just like brings it all together.
It's a good way of looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of right. Well, whenever you're going through it, you're not really thinking, man, I love this, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Whenever, you're getting your butt kicked at practice, and you're not like, wow, like this journey has been so incredible.
Yeah.
Like cutting weight, just like, oh, this is beautiful.
I love wrestling with Cenzo every morning for freaking 90 days.
Oh yeah. So yeah, his 197 year, we worked out like
Every day.
all the time in the mornings because we both had to get weight off all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a little big and strong still at the time. And like I would, if it's early morning, my sweat's not going, so I'd start spazzing out a little bit, and he would just kind of just shove me, like I would fly like one mat over, just like I'm gone. But
Yeah.
those were fun times. I think just whenever we beat the best second place team of all time, in the match, whenever you wrestled Colin Moore.
Mm-hmm.
I think that for me was one of the most exciting moments.
Yeah.
Just like watching you.
Yeah.
Like as a teammate and like spectator for that match. It was sick.
Yeah, that was insane. And again, with the lead up to that, it was just crazy because we made weight that previous weekend. Then I had to wrestle off on Thursday, lost my wrestle off to Shakur, had to make weight for that, scratch weight. And then the next day, Friday, Coach Kale texted me and was like, "You're wrestling tomorrow." I was like, "Sweet." So then I don't know how that worked with me losing and then wrestling.
fresh off a loss from wrestle offs.
Yeah.
Hey, we're gonna have you wrestle the number one guy.
Yeah, I was like, all right, sweet. And I was actually hyped because I was like, I thought I was like I could be done for the year. So I was like, let's get it. So made scratch again the following day. And then leading up to that duel, everyone was just saying we were going to lose. And for some reason, our entire squad had the complete opposite viewpoint.
Yeah, we're like, no shot.
We were just like, yeah, we're going to win. Like, it was just like a crazy vibe that whole day where like our vibe was just like completely contrast to everyone else's. And then
I don't even think it was like we're going to win. I think we were just so confident we didn't even think about it.
Yeah, it was like another day. And it was like such a cool thing to be a part of because everyone was on the same page. Everyone was like, yeah, we're just going to do our thing. And the match comes around. And I always say, like, that was such a amazing duel because every single person, like, did their job to the best of their ability. Like, if someone could get a major, they got a major. If someone could win, they won. If someone could not get tech, they didn't get tech. Like, from Carson Kuhn all the way through Neville's, it was like, every single person put everything they could into it.
I'm pretty sure during that match, me and Bo both got majors with like less than 5 seconds on the clock.
And that was like the turn of the match. Like those points were huge. So it just like, and then like the next person to come up was just like riding off that energy.
You guys had so much synergy. Like I was standing in the hallway and just kind of watching, and you guys just continued to feed off each other. And as soon as one of you guys did one thing, the next guy just literally like in junction did like the next thing that would be required if you were scripting it. And I remember with Nolf being out, everybody's like, okay, it was going to be closed. Now that Nolf's out, no shot.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys never wavered. Like you could see it was very evident that, and then it starts off and Kuhn just launches NATO, and you're like, okay, this is gonna be good.
When he did that and broke the freaking score table, and we all jumped up, like it was like the duel was over at that point. Like the coaches like kicked us out. They were like, "You guys got to go to the locker room. Like you're using all of your energy."
No, hey, remember the following year when we drew 133 and we just started freaking out like we won already? We were at Ohio State and we drew 133 for the first match, and our whole team just started going crazy like we won.
They're like, all right, it's done.
I remember that duel.
We were supposed to lose that one too.
Yeah. And we were supposed to lose a few. Michigan. Yeah.
I love these pictures. I don't know if I can pull it up here. I'll just text it to you guys both. Maybe in editing I can put it up, but I love this video. I'm pretty sure this is like when people think of Anthony Cassar, I'm pretty sure they think of this moment. Oh, see if you guys have the picture.
It's gonna be you like pointing to the crowd or something like that.
Oh yeah.
I'm loading. Yeah.
After that,
I know who you were pointing at too.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, me too.
yeah,
Was that a good point or was that a call out point?
No, that's a good point.
That was a good
That's
point.
That was-
Okay, so it was a girl.
Yeah. That's a good
whoa.
one.
He's just throwing you under the bus, dude.
Somehow the point didn't make it last time. I don't know.
I wish the point was at me.
But no, that was a funny moment because after that match, like, so I like stood up like at the second after I won, I was like, I'm gonna stay calm and just like shake his hand. And then I saw the crowd and I just lost it. And then I just like was thinking about what kind of celebration I was gonna do, and then I just ended up doing every celebration I could. And I watch it back, and I'm like, I'm on the mat for like 30 seconds after I win. I'm like, what am I doing?
Nah, it was dope. Like it was super hype at the time. So like,
And I'm convinced Neville's fed off that celebration energy
Yeah.
well,
to do what
so
he needed to do.
if you want to see a good celebration, look up Nick Neville's senior year of high school state finals match. If you want to see, I think Anthony took a few pages out of his book from his celebration there, just like the walk around flex.
No, the greatest celebration of all time is McCutcheon.
He had some good celebrations.
Yeah, I'll tell you, one of the celebrations that I love that I gotta find it. We made a GIF out of it. Was you pulling down the lip
Oh
for the
yeah.
Champ, and nobody can see Champ.
Expecting the camera to zoom in, and everyone's like, "What is he doing?"
It's like that was a classic one. The head nod, Champ.
Yeah.
My celebrations were all just like pure like instinct and emotion. So it's me like waving my hands around real lame like and stuff. So don't watch me celebrate either. It's like,
Yeah.
I can't remember what your NCAA championship celebration was. Was it really it?
no, maybe. I try not to watch it. I get secondhand embarrassment, firsthand.
Yeah.
Oh man, we're gonna have to pull that up.
Definitely. Mark's got to be the top dog for celebrations.
I think so.
He's got the ones.
Mark, man, that same match whenever Mark got the ride out at the end, and he started screaming while there was still time on the clock. He's on top of him. He's like just starts like yelling like while he's like still on top of the guy.
Yeah, that was dope.
Yeah.
That was dope.
That Ohio State last year, I thought his celebration was sweet. He had a mixer and he did kind of like a Conor McGregor walk after. And I was like, that was cool because I didn't watch it till after.
I'm drawing a blank on his name. Penn State quarterback when he did it after the home meet, and he did the.
So Saquon would do this.
Yeah. That was dope, yeah.
And he ran off the mat doing
Yeah.
That was a fun one. Man, there's a lot. You guys win a lot, so there's a lot of opportunities for celebrations.
There's a lot of opportunities. That's pretty much all I'm thinking.
I liked whenever Zane would give a little flex or something. That was always my favorite.
Yeah, that's when you knew it was.
Zane got a pin in the semis one year, and then he gave a little like chest pound, like flex, and the whole team got up. It was like, oh.
Well, it's funny too. It's funny that the non-celebration guys love the celebrations. Like Nolf always tells me, like Nolf's not a celebration guy, but he gets hyped off the celebration of others. Like he loves them, but he won't celebrate. He'll just give two fingers up, and that's it.
And I think it's so funny too, because like, you know, when we were in school, like we would, you know, mess around stuff like that, and we would, you know, get super pumped up, super into it. But like we see another team do that, what a bunch of bums! Like, know how to act, guys. Act like you've been here before, right? Like, and yeah, I don't know.
No one likes seeing people that you don't root for celebrate. Nobody likes it.
That's fair. Very true.
Yeah. Coach Kale's definitely not a fan.
Who do you think moving forward, if you had to guess, let's say next year we have a conversation of best celebration this upcoming year, who do you think you would think is going to have it?
Penn State or just all around?
Penn State.
Penn State. I could see Brooks having some good ones. Carter.
I got it.
It's probably gonna be mean.
It's gonna be Bo Bartlett.
Bo Bartlett.
Bo Bartlett's gonna have some fire celebrations after his matches. I don't know. We'll see. I think he's gonna have some big wins. So
yeah, for sure.
Do you think, knowing his desire to grow his brand, what about RBY celebrations?
Yeah,
because he's thinking about it.
Yeah, he'll probably have some well thought out ones. He's like pretty reserved overall though, so probably nothing like too extravagant, but he'll definitely have some like well thought out ones.
I don't know, like he's not like you said, he's pretty reserved, and
yeah,
he's not like.
I would love seeing like an awkward one. Like imagine Nick Lee pouring a cup of coffee and taking a sip of coffee after like a big match.
That'd be dope. That'd be dope.
Who's gonna have coffee ready for him?
That's what I'm saying.
Just like have someone like chuck him a cold brew and he just shot.
Yeah, cold brew could work.
Stone Cold Steve Austin style. He just starts slinging cold brew.
Yeah.
I Brooks have some good ones though. Brooks and Carter.
I think Brooks is gonna have a pretty good year, so I think we'll have some opportunities.
Yeah, we got some studs.
That team's good, man. But there's a few good teams this year, like top good teams that.
Yeah.
Especially with like the whole red shirting thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I'm actually pretty excited for college wrestling this year.
I was heartbroken when this duel got postponed, the Penn State Rutgers one. I was like legit for an hour sad. Like
I probably knew for a while before.
I knew for like 3 days. So I knew like 3 days before Kale announced it.
Yeah.
So that at least gave me time to let it settle. But
probably gonna be seeing a lot of that, unfortunately. It's just gonna be super annoying. Because each program's gonna shut down at some point. It's just when.
Does Penn State have? I don't think they announced it, but they're gonna still wrestle Rutgers in a duel, right?
Yeah, I think they're they're working on rescheduling. I don't really know the ins and outs of it or anything like that. Yeah. So, and I think they have to wait and see how like the next week or so plays out.
Yeah, I don't think they really want that Jersey smoke though.
How about this?
Yeah. Who do you have on Rutgers beating their guy from Penn State?
No comment. But
what's that?
No comment.
No comment. Okay.
I do remember the last time we went to Rutgers, and everyone was tight. They were like looking at me. They're like, "What's wrong with this dude? Why is Jersey like this?" Because everyone was just like wrestling dirty, and like it was a crazy duel. But yeah, they're gonna scrap regardless.
They might throw in some cheap shots too. I've seen that occasionally. I don't want to say they because that just encompasses the whole team. They're select individuals.
Yeah. They can't win. They're gonna try some extracurriculars, as would I.
Can we talk about this tweet that's in? I didn't see it. It's directly under the picture I sent you guys of pointing to the crowd. This is the tweet from February 2019. Anthony Cassar has 78 takedowns this year in 18 matches and is scoring one every 51 seconds he spends in neutral.
Wow.
That's an impressive stat.
It's a crazy stat. Wonder who's
time
to figure that out.
Nomad.
Maybe Tom Williams. I mean, do you want me to talk crap on that stat, or do you want me to like be a friend here?
No.
I mean, I'd probably have that many takedowns too if my competition was like that. So I understand.
I was 27 that year.
No, you weren't. You didn't have that many. No way.
Yes.
Was that 97 or heavyweight?
Yeah, I probably had less takedown heavyweight.
No, that was 2019. It was February 2019.
I don't remember what year was what.
Was that heavyweight?
No, because that was
no.
This article came out just after the Penn State duel.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was 97.
Hold on, let me think here. No, bro, that was heavyweight. 2019, you won at heavyweight.
2018, like the season started 2018. NCAA's in 2019.
Yeah, because we didn't have 2020 NCAAs.
But why was that tweet under that picture?
Just a picture of you.
I don't know.
People would use, whenever I was a senior, people.
This
would take
article
pictures.
date is February 2019.
Okay. The picture was not from 2019, though.
Yeah, it wasn't heavy. Well, the picture is from the Ohio State duel.
Right. So, but the stats aren't.
All right, you might be right.
I am right.
Well,
and I'm gonna argue that by saying, hey, if I was wrestling the same competition, I would have that many takedowns in that amount of time. Also,
you would get squashed.
Okay, if it was relative.
We gotta compare my 97 stats and see how it is. Though.
All right, Nomad, if you're listening, put those stats together, comparison side by side.
I think I would have more takedowns.
Hey, whoever's listening could reach out to Nomad. Let's just do career stats, takedowns, mine versus Anthony's in college. See who had more takedowns and who had a higher percentage against better competition too. So this is going to be a very in-depth statistical analysis.
That's relative, but let's do that.
All right, well, let's see if we can get somebody to put that together. We'll do the analysis live on air.
Let's get Statboy Tom to do it.
You think Statboy Tom listens to this?
I hope so.
I hope so too. Be very nice of him.
He should. I don't know why what's his reason for not listening?
He's like, why is Statboy Tom not listening?
Hey.
All right, I'm gonna text Tom after this and be like, dude, like you better be listening to the show.
Yeah, everybody should be. Everybody should just be sharing it and listening to it. So
yeah,
I know. Really, we have such good insights and banter.
Yeah, where else can you get this?
Bo and I got to start our
not on Flow Radio. I'll tell you
No.
Not on Flow Radio.
What did you say?
I will say Flow.
We got to start our podcast. We got it all set up. But he's been running around like getting married and stuff. So hopefully soon.
What are you guys gonna have a podcast about?
Just everything, man.
Life. What's your podcast gonna be about?
Life.
Everything. Life.
Love. Religion.
Life, love, pursuit of happiness, religion.
Real estate.
Wow. All the above.
You
have a name yet?
Yeah, this is tentative, so don't blow it up. But this is the name I'm thinking of. The Dime and Nickel Show.
I like that.
You're the dime in that aspect. Confidence has never been your issue.
Jersey,
right?
I was thinking like Boney, the Boney Show. You combine Bo and Tony.
Yeah, that's a little.
It's a lot weirder.
I could throw it in the mix.
Just relay that one.
Yeah.
Just when you guys are round tabling it, just make sure it's on a postcard sitting at the table to
So like
focus group.
Diamond Nickel, the Boney Show. Yeah.
Either one. They both
both kind of roll off the tongue pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully we get that started soon, and maybe we'll have you guys on a guest.
Always down.
Mm-hmm. Me too. I have all this equipment and stuff like that, so like I could just do it whenever. Like I have I have a mic and everything. Just got it on.
Just take you from Baschamania.
Yeah, now we got to get Cenzo a sign. We get Cenzo a coffee talk sign for the background. Once he moves out,
we need to get Cenzo a consistent place to record this, and then we'll work on the sign.
Every time we hop on, like he's in Michael Beard's room now. Every time we hop on, I'm like, all right, whose room today? I'm starting to recognize him a little bit. I know Nick Lee's plays.
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to remember Michael Beard's room.
Well, those are the main two, and then I wanted to do one at home, like in my childhood bedroom. I thought that would have been funny.
That would have been a good one. I think maybe we get you out of that house. We get Cassar out of that luxury apartment. You guys buy a house.
I'm thriving here.
Hey, are there any apartments, next to yours that are open?
You can move in, bro. I have like a full 200 square foot, so
What if I just moved in with you?
Yeah.
All right.
The rent will be
Perfect.
looking nice.
You guys could turn that into a reality show. Just put a camera in each corner and just stream it on Rockfin.
Yeah, I just have one.
Get some
one
subs for that.
size bed.
Are you activated yet on Rockfin?
No.
What are
They
you
haven't
waiting on?
emailed. They haven't emailed me back. It's been like a week.
I asked them. They were waiting on you.
No, I emailed them.
I'll text you guys and connect you once we're done here.
Did you guys
I thought they were waiting on you.
I thought I was waiting on them.
Did you guys ever talk about France?
We talked a little bit. What are your thoughts?
I was tight for Gilman.
Yeah.
That was bad. Because it was such a sick match too. Like that dude came out super hot, got like two nice takedowns, and then Gilman was just like breaking him. And then 3 seconds left that happened, I was like freaking out.
I will say there was no need for Gilman to start shoving that guy.
I know if
if he just didn't like do that, then like that whole
he probably if he just he knows if he just stayed a little more composed with, but the dude was just like putting his head down. Like I don't blame him, but
I mean I probably would have done the same thing.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that screws you.
Yeah, he seemed amped up. He seemed like he's not really one to back down and just kind of let time run out.
Yeah,
that sucked.
What'd you think of the David and JB match?
I thought it was good. I was just talking to him a little bit about it the other day. I mean, it was like kind of one of those weird matches with like a lot of build up and hype, and he had to jump through a lot of hoops. So just kind of one of those things where like getting a dub was like the most important thing, and just kind of move on to the next thing. But I thought he wrestled well. I mean, he controlled the hand fighting, the entire first period, and then stopped attacking a little bit in the second, but then stayed composed. And I think like he said, he showed a lot of growth from years ago, where that last 10 seconds of the very last 10 seconds of the match, he stayed composed, continued to hand fight and attack hard, and didn't give it up. So I think it was a good dub, and he probably was happy to just get it done with, and then move on to the more important stuff.
Yeah, I pretty much completely.
Yeah.
Not much else to say about it.
Yeah.
Got the job done. And like it's cool. It was cool to watch.
Yeah, it felt like a UFC fight, like lead up to it. Like that was one of the hypest matches I've ever seen.
Did you see that fight last night?
Crazy.
Or evening.
Crazy. Holloway?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
One of the most dominant performances I've ever seen.
Man, that was brutal. That was one of those brutal fights I've ever seen.
It was bad, and it's bad because his opponent is so tough, so he's not going to give up. And so Holloway just he landed a UFC record of like 405 significant strikes.
That's insane.
which
is just insane. So,
do you watch a lot of fighting?
Yeah.
Not you.
Oh.
talking to my co-host here. Talking to my co-host here.
I watch a lot of highlights of fights more than I watch the actual whole events.
That's fair.
Like the stuff that comes out the next day of what was good, I usually watch that.
Yeah. There's another big one this weekend. McGregor, Warrior.
Ever heard of him?
And now Khabib is like potentially back.
He'll be back.
He's like
he's gonna see what happens with this.
Which means he's coming back. Like if he's gotten his head already that he's gonna wait and see how they do and who looks what. Because initially it was like, yeah, I'm retired, I'm done. Chapter's closed. Yeah. Now it's like, let's see how they do.
Yeah, I'm sure Dana. They met yesterday. I'm sure he offered him. I mean, Khabib's not too big on the money, but I'm sure he offered him a solid chunk.
And Dana did say he said he made that decision emotionally. Like he just lost his dad. He won a big fight. And now it's like that was an easy time to make a bad time to make such a big decision. So I'm not surprised. I think some of these fighters too just retired just for the gimmick of it. Like Cejudo will be back. He's not retired.
Yeah. You think so? I don't know. Man. I think he's kind of chilling right now.
I think he'll fight. I mean, he's made it clear he'll fight the champ at 45. If the money's right, which would be sick because then he'll be the first. He could be the first 3-weight champion.
That's crazy. That's a lot of weight.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how cocky he would be on social after he's just like.
I think he's so funny, man. Like I love watching him fight too.
Yeah,
I think he's
one
I
of
think
my
he's
favorite
great.
fighters.
Me too. I would love to see him back.
Yeah,
Oh man, because like
Yeah, he'll be back.
and he's gonna, he's not just gonna go fight willy nilly. He's gonna get in great shape and then go
No,
fight.
he's a savage. I mean,
Yeah. Oh
that's,
boy,
yeah, that's the goal.
nice.
When's the next Rockman card?
Pittsburgh is the 26th.
There's a Pittsburgh one, and then
Oh, you're wrestling. You're wrestling
I'm sure you know about the Penn RTC card on
Yes,
the
sir.
29th. On the 29th, I'm wrestling on it. Marky Mark's wrestling on it. Should be fun.
That'd be
There's some other good matches too, but I'm really just going to promote me and Mark Hall because
Maybe we should get an arm wrestling match. Your right arm is good, right? You can just come out and do an arm wrestling match.
Get it.
How fun would that be? In between matches, they do an arm wrestling match.
Do you want to coach me at that?
I'd be down.
All right, cool.
It's close, right? It's in Philly.
It's in Philly.
Yeah, I got some contacts in Philly.
You don't need contacts. You just need to be there. I'm happy that you do, but
He's not thinking about. He's already thinking the after party for after the match
you're
is
gonna
over.
wait. You're gonna go lose your phone in another Uber. Let's just lay low this time.
Yeah, that was bad.
All right, nothing to say to anybody before you.
Not right now. I mean, I'm still on the sidelines, but I'll get back on the mat soon, and then I'll be coming for everyone's throat once again.
I like that.
I can't wait.
Can't
Do
wait
you
either.
think? You said end of 2021. So do you think you could be back in time for the World Team Trials for the actual 2021 World Championships?
Potentially, yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a possibility.
That'd be sick.
Yeah.
All right, I have one last question.
Yes, sir.
All right, typical day of you trying to gain as much weight as possible.
Okay. Typical day. So start out, wake up, get a protein bar in, some green juice, nuts, work out, protein shake, 7 eggs, 2 potatoes, go to practice, another protein shake, then Chipotle or 2 grilled chicken breasts, potatoes, and avocado. And then I'll end the night with either like a pound of ground beef and white rice or another protein shake and some more potatoes.
Do you have another fridge? That's because that does not all fit in that one.
This one, it's struggling.
Yeah, no way.
I might have to get a new one, but my weight's actually doing. I'm not like in full bulk mode anymore. Like,
Right.
the 2019 season, I was just moving up, so I was like full throttle, trying to get my body to adapt. But now I've kind of leveled out. So,
Dude, I would see you like have to power through like 2 Chipotle bowls, and I'm like, man, this weight cutting sucks, but that doesn't look fun either.
yeah, well, that is not fun.
What do you weigh right now?
Right now, I'm pretty big. I'm like 245.
Oh, nice.
So
That's pretty good.
leveled out now. My body's kind of adapted, so my eating routine isn't as forceful.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it takes a while. I mean, it takes a while for your body to adapt. So you gotta be consistent with it.
Yeah,
Very
that's
cool.
a great problem to have.
Yeah, man. Hate getting big.
That's gotta be
I-
an expensive habit.
So expensive.
Like 2 Chipotles. Chipotle's
Yeah.
freaking expensive. I feel like I go there, it's $20.
Yeah, I mean, I got like
You're getting
$1,500
double meat, guac.
on top of my fridge, and I usually spend like, I don't even know. I spend all my money goes on food and supplements. So that's
Man, or do you still have Ant the Champ shirts for sale?
I do still for sale.
All right.
And
If you're
Anthechamp.com.
listening, go to anthechamp.com, buy some fire hats, some fire shirts, because he needs supplements. And where do you think that comes from? Go buy a
Exactly.
shirt. Buy a shirt. If you're undecided, buy 2.
Facts. And we got youth shirts now too. So
Oh, for the Utes.
yeah, and then unisex. So all my ladies out there, you can wear it too.
Oh, ladies, you wearing Champ apparel?
All right, let's call it a day before I start saying something.
Heard that.
All right, guys. We'll be
Later,
back
guys.
later.
See you guys.
And that is it for today's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this conversation as much as I did. If you did enjoy this episode of the podcast, be sure to leave a 5-star rating review on Apple Podcasts and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on more episodes. For more wrestling content, be sure to follow Baschamania on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And follow me. I'm at JBash on Instagram and at JustinJBash on Twitter.
And the beat goes on.